Hey everybody, I'm Archie. I'm a Teen Services Librarian at Durham County Library, and I'm bringing you today's segment of Totally Teen Time, which is a video presented by Durham County Library. Today I wanted to read a poem to you that is a favorite of mine. I discovered it when I was in high school one day. I was in the library, supposed to be studying, I think, but I was looking around at some poetry, and I found this particular poem, and I liked it a lot because it spoke to me of where I was at the time, and I'm going to read it to you, and I'm hoping that maybe you will connect with it as well. It's by Kahlil Gibran. It's from his book called The Prophet, and the segment is called On Children, and a woman who has a baby, and she is asking the prophet to talk about children. And this is what the prophet says. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. And here is a picture that Gibran, actually, he drew this, and you can see the archer with the bow and the arrows that he's depicted. So I looked into this because I wanted to find out about Gibran a little bit more and see where did he get this idea about children. And what I discovered was he and his mom and siblings moved to Boston in the late 1800s from Syria. And when he had been there a while, about the time he was in his 20s, so it would have been early 1900s, he met two progressive women and befriended them. And one of them, named Marie Tudor Garland, brought him to visit her and her children at her farm. And at this farm, he saw Garland's children running around and just, living life the way pretty much they wanted to. And he thought, wow, that's great to have that kind of freedom. And he realized that as a child, he had not known that type of freedom. And so he was writing The Prophet, and he was writing on children. And from his experience there, he came up with these ideas. And I thought it was also interesting that someone who had written a poem in the 1920s, early 1920s, would carry forth an idea that could still be related to when I was a teenager in the 1970s. And nowadays, that I hope that you guys can relate to it too. That's why I chose it, particularly the part I always like, and that I've heard quoted quite a bit, that your children are not your children, and though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. And it's the idea that, we have children and set them forth for them to develop who they are, which I think is a large part of the teen years, is finding out who we are and what we want to do. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading. If you want to read The Prophet, you can find it online at durhamcountylibrary.org. It's an ebook or an audiobook. You can stream it. You can also request it if you want to as a hardback copy. It's also a public domain poem, so you can find it on the internet. And there's a Project Gutenberg that has it as well. It has fascinating poems. There's a lot of different segments in the book, but the one on children was the one I chose to read to you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back another time to present more Totally Teen Time. Thanks a lot for listening, and I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.